Thanks for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wynn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of You See Me. Thank you for coming to see me. I hope you guys have been seeing yourselves. I am your host, Tina Wynn, and you guys can see me on the We Empower Network, on Facebook at Tina Wynn, Instagram at Tina Wynn, and all my other social platforms. So, as we discussed in our fear episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about accountability. And again, that is such a huge word. And spirit, as I was preparing this topic, the trick about spirit is he moves. And I had to take account of the things that are accountable in my life as well, guys. But what is accountability? Accountability is a mindset. It is a way of thinking about being responsible for your life and ownership of your decisions. So that means it's a thought. Accountability is a thought. It starts in your head as a thought. So if it's thought, it's safe to say it's also a choice. You are choosing whether you want to be accountable or not. So if it's fair to say it's a thought, and we all know we in control of our thoughts, right? However, what does accountability really mean? Because we have two words there. We have account and we have ability. Remember, one cannot operate without the other. So you have to have left in order to have right. Nothing in all creation can be hidden from God. I just want you guys to remember that. And we are all self-accountable to him for the things we do. You cannot go before God talking about, oh, well, I did this because so-and-so did that, or I did this because this happened. You're accountable for you. So regardless of what the person next to you is doing, you are accountable for you. Let's start with ability first, guys, right? What does it mean to be able to do something? It means you have possession. You have the possession of or are capable of the means or skills to do something. So either you're physically, mentally, morally, financially, etc., able to do something. That's what able means. It means capable of doing something. And everybody's abilities will all be different. You may be able to do something that the man next to you may not be able to do, and the man next to you might be able to do something that you are not able to do. Ability is normally guided by the person's intention. So what is a person's intentions? Because if you are intentionally looking to do something, you'll be capable of doing it with enough push to yourself. A person can be accountable and not responsible. Pay attention to that. Based off abilities to cope with problems. So meaning we have some people out here, you guys all know that I am still in my studies for my behavior analyst to be a board certified behavior analyst. But I get these cases, and some of the kids, they have behaviors. That's not the type of accountability we are talking about. Yes, they are still responsible for the things that they're due, but they're not fully held accountable because of their mental. And that's a whole different subject. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about able. Are they able to cope with their problems? No, they're not. Some of us are, and we just choose not to. Now, let's tear apart the word accountable. It's about showing up. It's in the show up, guys. You got to show up. We got to start showing up for self. A lot of us don't know how to show up for self, and that's the reason why we don't know how to be accountable or take responsibility for our actions, because we're not even showing up for ourselves. So you can't take account to something that you won't even show up for. So let's just keep that in mind. It's about showing up and setting out to accomplish the things you said you do. See, this Tina's an 80s baby, guys. Quita, she's definitely an 80s baby. And a lot happened in that era. A lot happened in that era that has really impacted my generation. And there used to be a thing in the street. See, Tina was born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Yonkers, New York, and the rest of Westchester County, New York. And your word meant something. Your word meant something. When people said that they were going to do something, they did it. Nowadays, what does people word mean? Because you got people walking around just saying stuff that they know that they're not able to cope with, and that they know that they're not going to be responsible for. It's a mindset, remember? So in your mind, you already knew prior to saying what you said that you wasn't going to fulfill on it. So why even say it? Are we making our talk match our walk, or are we just talking? Because you got a lot of people out there that just talk. A lot of people that just like to hear themselves. Quita's one of those people. Quita loves to hear herself talk, if y'all haven't noticed. But I actually have something to say. Contrary to what some people may think, they may feel like, oh my gosh, she's just talking and talking, and what is this girl talking about? I take account of the things that I say. I don't just say things without having any fact or any meat behind it, any sustenance behind it. So in order to take full account, we must understand our roles in the situation. What part did you play? See, we often get lost on the entire situation or on parts of others without looking at what we did that caused the result that we got. So, like I said, as I was preparing this accountability episode, spirit started moving, guys. Spirit started moving all over Tina and all over Quita, because Tina had to sit and take account of everything it is on why I'm in the season that I'm in. I had to be completely honest with myself and everyone involved. I can't sit here and come before you guys and tell you guys about accountability without taking accountability for self. So in the process of taking accountability, the tears started rolling, the depression started sitting in, the mindset started to shift. The mindset started converting back to all the hurts and all the pains and all the things that Tina and Quita allowed inside. But as again, nothing can be hidden. So as I began to self-inventory, because yes, accountability is a self-inventory word. You cannot be accountable without looking at self. So if you are afraid of self, then let's just skip right on over accountability, because you're not going to understand it and you're not going to be able. Remember, account and able. Are you able to cope with the things that you did? See, a lot of us are not able to cope with the things that we did. So why are we doing? So as I sat and I started having to cope with the things that I've done and take account of all the things that I've done, the tears flew, guys. The tears flew because I realized I can't blame any of the people who were once in my life for some of the things that they did, because it was my choice. Remember, it's a mindset. What am I thinking? What was I thinking? It was my choice to allow these people in my life. It was my choice to allow them to continue to hurt me, to continue to lie to me, to continue to betray me, to continue to do. I took account of everything everyone did, because remember, that's what we do first. We deflect before we reflect. But in order to fully be accountable, you have to reflect. So as I sat there and got past the deflection phase and started to reflect on Tina's role, because remember, we got to take account of the role that we play. What role did you play? Why did this person keep treating you like this and lying to you and saying this and say? Because remember, we teach people how to treat us. And then when they treat us that way, we sitting in a corner somewhere crying, talking about, oh my God, they lied to me. And oh my God, they hurt me. And oh my God, they did this and they did that. And what part did you play? What part did you play? Because these people didn't just do all of this in your life without you allowing them to. Somewhere along the line, when they came knocking, you opened the door and let them in. And if, oh my God, why do you keep lying to me? For someone to keep doing something, what part do you play? You have to keep allowing them to do it, right? So are you accountable to the role that you play, or are you just pointing a finger at the role that everybody else play? Does your word mean something? Are you, because listen, Quita has been let down 1,001 times. Y'all see me. That's what brings her about, because of all her letdowns and all me taking account of the part that Quita played is how Tina is able to function. I had to take account of the fact that Tina, you lied to people too. You let people down too. You betrayed people too. Those was your expectations. Remember, guys, from season 1, we have to accept what we expect. If you are going into a situation expecting with expectations, you already have 1 point against you, because the second that that person's expectations don't align or match up to what your expectations may be, it's going to cause a chaos. It's going to cause a conflict. Remember, we shouldn't be, when you put your faith in man, you already failed. That's number one, because our word teaches us never to put your faith in man. You put your faith in your God, and your God will lead you to the correct man with the correct solution, or the correct woman, or the correct person. Basically, he's telling you not to put your trust into the flesh. The flesh is very tricky. Remember, we talked about spirits, guys. So you need to be able to recognize spirit before you go throwing around all of these fancy words and titles and labels that we give people, and we're giving them control over our life. And then we don't want to be accountable for it. And you have to be honest with self. You have to be brutally, brutally, brutally honest with self. And that's a big one. That's a big one, because most people don't even know how to be honest with themselves. So how could they ever be honest with anybody else if they can't? And this is what causes lack of responsibility, leading to lack of accountability, is because people don't know how to be honest with self. See, we go around and we think that we're lying to people, or we think that we lead them, and all you actually doing is running yourself in a circle. And that's exactly what Quita did. Quita thought by telling people what they wanted to hear, going along with what people felt she should be doing, and all of these other things. And all I did was run myself in a circle, because that wasn't what Tina wanted. But again, I didn't even know who Tina was. So how do I know what Tina wanted? All I know is that I was running around doing things. And let me tell y'all about accountability. And I had touched on this in season 1, back when I was knee deep in my mess, Quita being Quita, all things fair. You know, I was a booster, and I would have people, I had a driver, I had a whole setup, I had a whole plan, I had this thing all planned out, guys. Yes, I planned my crooks, and I was sick. I didn't know how to take account for anything that I did. I didn't. I didn't know how to cope with the things that I was doing. So I forgot everything and ran. Fear complete. And when we're living a fear driven life, remember, go back, guys, and catch the fear episode. When we are living a fear-driven life, we are not in control of anything, which means we are not taking account of the things we're doing. We're not being responsible for the things we're doing. We're not even able to cope with the things that we're doing. To thy own self be true, guys. See, because we could run around and we could lie to this one, we could lie to that one, but who are we really lying to? Again, you got to stand there and look you in the mirror. You got to live with you. Why live with you if you're not going to live with you? And that was a big task for Tina. Tina got tired of people saying, oh, well, you said this, and oh, well, you said that, and you did this, and you did that, and oh, your words ain't matching. And oh, listen, Tina don't say nothing unless I'm already doing it. If I'm not already doing it, then I don't even say it, because it avoids the chaos of people being able to come back to me and say, well, Tina, you said this and you didn't do it. No, I didn't say anything. You actually just saw me doing it. And in the process of you seeing me doing it, I told you what I was doing. There's a difference. So now I am fully accountable for everything that I say and everything that I do. We have to stop saying things that we know we are not going to fulfill. Stop saying, oh, well, and then when someone gets upset or when things don't go our way, now our whole world is going in another direction because we don't want to take account of the things that we do. So let me ask you guys a question. If the things that you're doing, excuse me, is too tough for you to take account of, then why do them? See, because it's a mindset and it starts as a thought. So what are we thinking? So I'm sitting here, let's make sense of this thing if we can. So I'm going to think a thought, any random thought. I'm going to say it, I'm going to do it. But then when it's time to be responsible for saying it or doing it, I'm going to back out when it was my thought. How do you not want to take ownership of something that was initially yours? See, but I see people take account of a lie. And truth, we need to do a topic on truth, because I'm coming to realize that truth is not truth anymore. People can know the truth, you can tell them the truth, they could stare the truth in the face, but again, accountability, they're not able to cope with the truth. So what they're able to cope with is the lie. So they're going to take account of the lies. They're going to take account of everything that they know to be false, everything they know to not be accurate, because they can't cope. They're not able to take account of the role that they play. They're not able to. That's like, I could sit here, and I shared this with you guys before. I was a single parent, and I was a single parent based off of choices that I made. I chose to sleep with a man for money that I barely knew. And of course, obviously, us females know eventually feelings get attached. We allow our feelings to get attached. So I went on and on with this man until I ended up pregnant. Did I know him? Did I know enough about him to even be sleeping with him? No, I did not. And I had to take account of that. I had to take account of the fact that, you know what, Tina, had you been more responsible with your body, had you been more responsible with your choices and made better decisions, the responsibility I was able to take account of all these things. I had to take account of the fact that, you know what, this man didn't just walk out on you. He was never yours to begin with. He was never yours to begin with. You were giving yourself to somebody that you did not know, that wasn't yours. And now you expected him to be in a situation that he never probably signed up for. He signed up to sleep with you, but you don't know what else he signed up for because you didn't take the time to get to know him. See, that's taking full account. And it takes a grown woman to do that. Not everybody is able to cope with that. See, because after I sat and I tore all of that apart and told myself, then the negative thoughts started seeping in. Well, Tina, dang, you was a whole girl and you was doing this, and what's wrong with you? And you start negative self-talking yourself. No, I wasn't none of the above. I was lost. I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I wanted. I didn't know how I wanted. So I allowed any and everything that came in my life, any spirit that came along. Remember, we discussed this. I didn't see myself. I didn't even see him. All I saw was that he had something that I wanted and I went after it. I didn't see anything else. But let me tell you again about spirit. That's because we're accountable to spirit. And that's exactly how spirit set in. Spirit made me have to be accountable for myself. Spirit made me have to see myself. Spirit made me have to say, okay, well, he chose to walk out on you and your daughter. That's an account of his actions. We're not taking account of his actions. We're taking account of Tina's actions, because regardless of what that man did and didn't do, God rest his soul, because he's no longer with us. God, regardless of what he chose to do, I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for me. And a lot of us don't know how to take responsibility for self. The minute someone does something, here go the blame game. Let me pull out my violin and my horns, because when people start sitting there pointing fingers, you know what they say. When you point one, there's three pointed back at you. So let the first person throw the first stone. Nobody can't throw stones at the next person. And what I'm coming to see is that the reason a lot of people cannot take accountability and cannot be responsible for their actions is because they're too busy worried about the guilt and the shame. You did it. You did it. And by not being responsible or taking account of it is only going to make you relive it. You're going to become that hamster on a wheel, going around and around in a circle, letting fear complete, because you're forgetting it and running a step of facing it and recovering. That's what you're doing. That's what you do. You allow fear to control you every time you are not capable of taking account of the things that you are putting forth. So Tina has a very simple solution, and maybe it is a little bit too big for some people, but Tina's simple solution is, if you are not capable to stand there with the same enthusiasm, with the same motivation that you use to say that thing or to put that thing forward, then don't. Then don't. See, my mother always told me, Tina, don't do nothing you're going to be ashamed of. If you can't own the things, and I didn't understand it. My mother used to say a lot of things when I was little that used to mess me up, guys. It used to mess Quita up something serious. Now that Quita's older and Quita's able to take account of her own life, I fully understand what my mother meant by everything she was doing, what she was saying. What she's saying is, if you are not going to be proud of the things you're doing and you're not going to live up to the things that you're doing, then don't do them or don't say them. Make your word mean something. How do we make our word mean something when every time we say something, when it's time to stand up to our word, we fold and we flake? Because, see, growing up in Yonkers, Quita, you know, my word ain't mean much. My word ain't mean much because the people I was dealing with word ain't mean much. And it was a game that I played. It was a game that I played and probably a game that they played. I know I'm being lied to, and that's the reason I'm lying to you. But how sick is that for us to sit here and play the game of lies? And then the minute that you get up and walk away, I'm talking about you, you talking about me. We sitting in the same room, in the same circle with fake animosity and fake grudges towards each other. You know, I used to hang out amongst these spirits, and you would have one group of girls on one side of the room and the other group of girls on the other side of the room, and they all sitting there texting each other about each other.
Hey, 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 how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
We all capable of knowing what's going on. We all know what's going on, but are we able to cope with what's going on? Because there's a difference. There's a difference. See, Quita sat in that circle knowing that that wasn't the circle for me. I knew it was fake. I knew everybody was talking about everybody and everybody was messy and all over the place, but so was I. I didn't know myself. I was searching for myself. So anything that came went. Who was I to look at them crazy when I wasn't taking account of the things that I was doing? Who am I to tell them that they got to be responsible for the things that they saying, and I'm not being responsible for the things that I'm saying? I had a part to play there too. I had the biggest part to play, if you ask me, because it's a mindset, and that was my choice. Where was my mindset? What was my choices? What choice? I can't be mad at nobody. Shout out to all my ex-friends, because y'all made Tina who she is. Because Tina could see Tina for who she is now. And it's all those people who were once in my life, all of those spirits that was once in my life that I did not like, that did not agree. Because now that I know myself, I could say that. Do I have any animosity towards these people? Do I want to see bad? No. Blessings and prayers to all of y'all. I wish everybody the very best. But y'all not for me. See, I was mentoring someone last year, and it went completely left, guys. It went completely left. Now, I could sit here and slander the person and sit here and say, oh, well, she this and she. Nope, I had to take account of my actions. Tina, you opened up a door that you yourself wasn't fully ready to go through. You presented things to this person, you moved way too fast, not fully knowing what you were dealing with. And then when your expectations was let down, you got upset and retaliated in a negative way. I had to take account of that, guys. And I had to take account of, as her mentor and as a mentor, how did I negatively impact or affect this person? Did I make the situation worse? I had to take account of every part that I played in that situation. What that other person did didn't even matter to Tina, because I had to see me. We have to start seeing ourselves. If you can't even own your own lies to yourself, how could you ever stop lying to other people? And that was a big, big task for Quita, because see, the thing that comes along with lying, we get so enveloped in our lies that we start to actually believe the things that we are saying. See, Quita was so sick that some of the things that she said, and let me tell y'all, let me tell y'all how powerful spirit is. Laws of attraction, guys. Remember, it's not that I believed my own lies. It's not that my lies, we seek, we speak, and we manifest our own destinies. Do y'all understand that? The things that we think become the things that we say. The things that we say become the things that we do. Thoughts become words, words become action, action become character, character becomes you. It's very simple. So if these are the things that I'm thinking and these are the things that I'm saying, obviously these are the things that I'm doing. So when I kept going back and forth to jail, and I kept going back and forth to rehab, and I kept going in and out of these abusive relationships, these toxic relationships, I had to turn the mirror to self. I had to stop lying to myself. Tina, what part are you playing? What part are you like this drama, girl? Because you sit on the phone and you arguing with these people and you going ham trying to defend yourself and defend your truth, but you're defending yourself against a bunch of people who are feeding off the lies, against a bunch of spirits that enjoy the chaos. So no matter how right you are, you wrong for even being involved. I had to take account of all the things that I did to put myself there. And a lot of times when we can't pay our bills or we don't have money, we quick to sit and hang our head low, but we never take account of why our accounts is empty. See, God gave it to me once and he took it away because I didn't take account. I wasn't able to fully be responsible. And he didn't take it away to make me suffer. He took it away to provide me with the capabilities of being able to handle and take account of my money. Do you guys understand that? So I want everybody to go out this week and be accountable for the things you do. Be accountable for what you're saying to people. Be accountable for, make your words and actions mean something by taking accountability. Don't just say I'm sorry to people. Don't just say I'm sorry to yourself. Take full account. Go see yourself. Go see the part you play in everything that you are putting forth out of your mouth, and every action that you are allowing your flesh to put forth in this work. Thank you guys for coming to see me. Continue to come see me, but most importantly, go out and see yourself and take accountability for you. Thank you.